As the Telangana Rashtra Samiti steps formally into adulthood, celebrating 21 years of its formation, the party president K Chandrashekar Rao has decided that it's time for the party to step out of its cocoon in the domestic turf of Telangana and venture into national politics. He addressed party leaders at a TRS plenary in Hyderabad today. He said some of his party leaders had wanted the TRS to change into the Bharatiya Rashtra Samiti. Joining us now for more on this, NDTV's Uma Sudhir. Hi Uma, is this going to be the first step to the TRS being a truly all India party, or is this just talk at this juncture?
Vishnu, KCR has already said that he intends to play a national role. That is already clear. But right now, as the TRS is turning 21, a resolution has been passed today at the plenary saying that the TRS will from now on start playing a crucial role in national politics. And in the same breath, he also mentioned that they had acquired land in Delhi and a party office was coming up, and that the party intends to start playing some kind of an important role. So whether he also mentioned in the same speech that the legislators had spoken about the TRS turning into a BRS, meaning that Telangana Rashtra Samiti would become a Bharatiya Rashtra Samiti, which means that there is a hint of possibly a national party being launched. But interestingly, we have all been talking about a third front and what kind of a non-BJP front will KCR come up with. In the speech, very categorically, he said that he has not been speaking about a political front, and he kind of dismissed earlier attempts. He said there have been attempts to make a third front or a federal front in the past, and they have not been successful, and that we require a new approach. And he even made a reference to the left leaders, including Mr. Pinarayi Vijayan, coming in and meeting him and saying at that time that they would like a front in order to defeat the BJP. And he says that at that time also he had dismissed that kind of a talk, saying that it is not to defeat somebody that I want to bring in a front, but bring in a new kind of a model of politics. And he likes to give this example that when 21 years ago he launched the party, everyone ridiculed him when he was talking about a separate Telangana state, but he had managed to bring in a separate Telangana state and work on it, and now it has become a model for the rest of the country. This is something that he and his party leaders, including Mr. KTR, have been showcasing time and again, talking about what they have done for agriculture, power, whether it is rural also. He pointed out that just yesterday in a central kind of awards given for villages, the top 10 villages were all from Telangana. That of course is very creditable given the Palle Pragati thing. But what he wants to say is that what he has been able to do in Telangana, the BJP has not been able to do at the center. Remember that Narendra Modi became Prime Minister at the same time that Chandrashekar Rao became Chief Minister in Telangana, and he would like a comparison between the two, and that's what he has been doing meeting after meeting, and whenever he addresses public meetings as well as press conferences, and says that our performance has been like this and the national performance has not been good, and therefore it's the Telangana model that should work out. And that's where I think this hint of a national party that KCR is talking about. Other than that, of course, the resolutions on opposing what he has been calling as communal politics. He makes a reference to Karnataka, saying that they have 30 lakh jobs for IT and 30 lakh other jobs, and yet the halal hijab issues are spoiling its image, not just in India but outside the country as well. And he also made a reference to the Delhi riots, to the Delhi violence that has happened in Delhi, right, and spoken about the fact that communal politics is not good for national interests. Back to you.
It's fascinating, Uma. Let's see, I mean, whether these announcements, and as you point out, it's been spoken about in the past, but whether this actually translates into, I think the most interesting bit is that he's buying land, or he's bought land in Delhi and he's going to set up an office in Delhi. So let's see what the TRS has to do in the future. Thanks very much for joining us.